You look good, you have all of the something they bought you. Yes, goodie!
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Goodgal Podcast, and I have my best friend, Miss Gabby Waite.
The favorite one.
So, Gabby is here because I wanted to talk about personal branding, and I think you're the person who I think out of everybody I know, like your personal brand is top tier.
Thanks, girl.
And I just feel like, because you're a full-time marketing manager, you're an entrepreneur, you have so many brands under your belt, you're also a MUA. Like, I feel like you do so many things, too many things, right? So I think that, and then the thing is, what I realize with all of your brands, they're, some people have a brand, but it's not necessarily associated with them.
Yeah.
I feel like all of your brands, like whether you're in your marketing manager hat, your MUA hat, your lip gloss or your makeup or whatever, your GlamCon, I feel like it's all under you and who you are under your personal brand. So how did you go about getting that, and what does like personal branding mean to you?
So the thing about it is that how I feel a personal branding is first of all, everyone has a personal brand. You may not think you do, but your bio, how you behave on Instagram, TikTok, it is a part of your personal brand. It's really how persons view you. And I feel like for me, with my businesses, for working my 9 to 5 with my business as well, it was important for me that anything that I do, it is 100% me. What I believe in, my values, morals, and that is a part of your brand. It's really how persons view you. It's in today's world, it's like your digital DNA, your digital reputation.
Okay, I found this on the website.
All right, okay, Siri. Yeah. So it's so I feel like because of that, it's important that you kind of know what you stand for. You know your goals. You know your morals. And I think that with that, it makes everything a lot easier, and then you will always be very authentic. So no matter where anybody find you, they know that, okay, this is the person, this is who she is, this is how she is on any social platform, but this is how she is in real life. And I think that is very important. And you don't need to worry about, okay, pleasing everyone at the same time. I think that just being true to who you are and knowing what it is that you stand for, that helps a lot, because at the end of the day too, people buy from people, and people connect with people.
Okay.
So once you're clear on your values, your morals, what you believe in, all of those stuff, then you will start to attract those type of persons, and then you'll be more defined in terms of, or people will more see you as that type of brand, and the type of brand that they want to interact with, what they'll get from that person, and how they can be associated with that person.
Okay. No, that makes sense. So was it intentional with like every step you took, or was it just kind of who you are and then it became a brand? Like, did you set out to have, for example, in terms of what you do, so you are a marketing manager at a company, so that is just kind of more like your corporate life,
right?
But then in terms of your brand, so you have Gabby Glam, which entails your makeup, your lip glosses, all of that, where you're coming out with a full makeup line, all of that. Then you also have the makeup artist aspect, and then you also have the event aspect, which is like Carnival, Glam Hub, all of that. So was it intentional? Like, did you know that, okay, first I'm going to do this, then this, then this? Did you have that like mapped out to say, okay, and then said, hey, I'm going to make my brand based on this trajectory? Or was it like taking it a step at a time?
So, all right. So the thing about it is that even when starting a business, you kind of want to find out what, your target audiences, the persons that you want to attract. But for me, while I want to be able to find out my target audience, know the person I want to attract, I also want to make sure that anything I'm doing is I'm passionate about it and it is still me. So as I said, no matter where you see me, you see the brand.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's always true to me.
To you.
So
Okay.
I'm customizing off everything in terms of, okay, how is it still a representation of me? And how is it as authentic as possible? So yes, I knew that I wanted to go into makeup. But in terms of coming up with Gabby Glam, that really stemmed from, I'm like, okay, what do I like? I love glam. My Sweet 16 party was like glitz and glam. And I remember during that time, that was when Instagram came up and you had to come up with a whole Instagram account, trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to name it Gabby Glitz. But then that name was taken. And then I started to say Gabby Glam. And then I wanted
Fun facts, I thought so before me and Gabby actually like connected in university, like we knew each other from high school, and I legit, but I didn't go to the same high school as her. We were cool, but we weren't like best friends until university. But I thought your last name was Glam. Do you remember that? I told you this. Yes, you remember I told you this? God. Yes, I thought her last name was Glam because it was just like Gabby Glam. So I was like, oh, that's such a cute last name.
It just kind of
clashed,
right?
I was like, that's such a cute last name. But
okay. Together.
So you were always like a glam girl.
I was always a glam girl. I always loved dressing up. I mean, I grew up in it because my mom's a retired makeup artist. So growing up, I would always see her doing people's makeup. She's doing her makeup. All of my aunties, they're very like, they love to dress up and all of that. So I was in that. So I always loved the glam. I always felt like once I'm leaving the door, I must look put together. I'm a strong believer in when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
So it don't matter where I go in, I'm gonna put I don't have to wear makeup per se, but I just want to always look put together. And so even when I was saying that, okay, I want to go into makeup, I still wanted it to be me. And for me, I don't like the heavy makeup look. I don't like to do it on myself. So I knew that, okay, I'm going to do something where I'm catering to persons who don't really like the makeup, but they want to look as natural as possible. So that's how Gabby Glam transitioned into specializing in soft glam makeup looks. And even with the cosmetic line, it was more so I always started with 3 products. So the lip gloss, the first one, the Sealer collection, it's 3, but it's 3 like great staple shades to get for your glasses that can work for the everyday on the go woman that's, you're not into makeup, but you just want to grab something to look cute. That the lipsticks is the 3 main shades: red, plum, brown. Like, most women, even women of color, like those are the shades that we want to go for in terms of lipsticks. So it's more just trying to simplify, and that's what I wanted to do. Simplify makeup, but still feeling glam and still feeling pretty, like a pretty, I feel like a glam
like
girl.
A simplistic beauty.
Simplistic beauty, and just embracing what you already have, but just like, enhancing certain features. And through that is really how I knew that knowing what steps I wanted to take, because at the end of the day, as I said, with a personal brand, once you understand your core values, what you stand for, what is it that you like, what you don't like, then making decisions and thinking becomes a lot more clear, because you understand the direction that you want to go, and because of that, you know who you're catering to. So I'm catering to people who are like me, or people who want to be like that, who aspire to be like that. So because of that, it made a lot of things a lot more clear, a lot more simple.
So it was easy to niche down in terms of who you wanted to.
It was easy to niche down to who I wanted to.
Because you don't really speak to men, you speak to women.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I speak to women. So because of that, I realized that I started to attract a lot of persons who are very similar to me. And because of that, they also helped me to really build the cosmetic line, because I'm also listening to them to see what it is that they like, what they don't like, what it is that they're looking for in a product, in a brand, to then not cater to them, So I think that had helped a lot. And even as it related to Carnival Glam Hub,
because it was interesting with Carnival Glam Hub, not to interject you, because Gabby doesn't jump carnival. Like
I
she
don't.
She doesn't jump carnival.
I've never jumped a carnival.
She's
in
never
my
jumped
life.
a carnival, and she's been to all of them, and she came up with Carnival Glam Hub. So how did that come about with the? Because usually it's people who are like soca junkies or whatever that kind of. But then I feel like you've come into the space, you've dominated it. We've seen other brands come in under that, under type of trying to do like a carnival get ready, but they haven't stuck around. It's like a one-time thing, it doesn't work out or whatever. How did you make sure that to the point where you're going to other Caribbean islands now? Because how many islands you're in?
So this
Glam
year
Hub?
we took on 5 additional territories. So now we're in a total of 9.
9 territories for Carnival Glam Hub. Yeah,
for this year. So like even with that, so as I said, I loved all things glam, and for Carnival,
Carnival is glam.
Yeah, Carnival is glam, and I always felt like when you got Carnival, you should look like a Victoria's Secret angel.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So the hair, the makeup, the walking down, taking photos. I'm like, that's how it should be. Because that's how I saw it. And to be honest, I never was interested in jumping, but I always just wanted to wear a costume
and look pretty
and just look pretty. So then I was just like, I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. And because of that, I wanted to create an experience for persons to be able to feel like a glam queen, to feel like a celebrity, to feel special like a Victoria's Secret angel.
Yeah.
Like we watching on TV, because I used to always look forward to that, and I thought that in the Caribbean, Carnival was the closest
experience to that.
Was the closest experience to that, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm not really big on jumping, but I'm loving the glam. I like, because I mean, as I said, my clientele, it's all soft glam looks. So obviously, like sometimes you want to experiment, play with colors, the glitters and stuff. And because my clientele, they like the soft glam looks, Carnival was the one time that I could actually like play around with makeup a bit.
Yeah.
So then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make it more of an experience as opposed to just being on the road. But there's like a pre-fit. Pretty
before
hitting
and
the road.
Because the thing is, when you go on the road too, you don't get a lot of content, right? So even what you do with the photos and all of that, and making sure they get it, and that kind of very tailored, unique experience, I think is very unique, and I feel like it's something different that you bring to the space.
Yeah.
So in terms of I feel like when it comes to your online presence and social media, even that, like, how do you, or what would you advise in terms of balancing? Because a lot of times, I get in trouble for this all the time. She will literally message me and say, Renee, delete that. That doesn't look like she's the one friend that I'm like, because I feel like I think I'm better now. But I think in earlier days, I struggled with my personal branding, because I would just, if I have a thought on something, I'm going to hold up my phone and talk about it, right?
Yeah. And I'd be like, girl, delete that.
Delete that. She'd be like, Renee, delete that. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not, and she'd be like, your brand. But no, I didn't get what she was saying initially, but now I kind of see the wisdom in it. Because, for example, like now I have a podcast and an outlet that is for certain types of conversations. Before, it would just be me holding my phone and it would be a social media rant.
Right.
But how do you manage like still having a Gabrielle Waite social media presence versus a Gabby Glam and everything that you do?
So the thing is that it's intertwined, because it is my personal brand. And as I said, I've created Gabby Glam through my experiences, because your job title is not your personal brand.
Yeah.
Right? They're two different things. However, I wanted it to be a case where you see the brand just by looking at me. I want, when you see me, you're just like, you do something in beauty, like you do, because that has happened several times. Like I'll just be walking and somebody stop me and say, you model, you do the hair, you do. I said, why you ask? He's just like, you just look like you do something in beauty. And I said, well, yeah, I actually do. So I think for me, I think that once you, especially if you're very vested into the business, when you and your brand are intertwined, it's almost a lot more marketable, because then people just see that, okay, it's genuine.
Yeah.
Nothing seems forced.
So there's nothing that you can't post or nothing that feels weird, because it's true to who you are.
It's already true to who I am. So with certain things, like, you just know, if even if like a company, so for example, like a boomer to come to me and somebody saw me posting that, they'd be just like, what the hell, Gabby? Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing with that energy drink? That's not you.
That's just not me. Even honestly, like, even like drinking, like, people just kind of know that is also just not you, not your thing. Yeah, exactly. So once you're very much like clear on what you stand for, and if you have that in your business as well, it just becomes a lot more easier, and it's almost like it just meshes into one,
and it makes you more selective as well, because as you said, I like what you said about the brands, because for example, with so much content, with we're in a world of content creators now, right? So you have influencers, you have content creators, so you have different people in different categories, right? So we're in a, and then with that you have a lot of brands and people reaching out to you for various things. And I think when you have a strong personal brand, it makes it easier for you to say, no, yes, that's not really me. Exactly. Or yes, this aligns with my brand and what I represent.
About it is that they will also see it as well. Because certain brands, they from the look on up with them, know so them not when come to me. Yeah. So they're just like, this is not gonna make no sense. It's not her. It's not gonna be marketable for us. So, and it makes it, as I said, even in terms of aligning with brands, it makes it a lot easier for you and for them, because then you're a lot more clear. You're not all over the place, and then you want to make sure that you're also reaching at, once you have a niche, that helps a lot, like quality over quantity all the time. And then, as I said, once you realize that you have a specific focus group, then a specific brand will reach to you, because they said, yeah, man, everybody who we want is already on her page, because this is all that she does. This is what she focuses on. So then you're a lot more clear. Your followers are now clear. They will actually believe any product that you push out, because then
they know it's authentic. You're not just gonna put out something. It doesn't seem like a money grab. Yeah,
exactly. So a lot of the times it's not necessarily about the quantity of followers per se, but you also want to find out, okay, their audience. If she posts a lot and you've seen the interaction that she has with her audience, then you're like, okay, probably even though she probably don't have a lot, but it's a lot more, it's sellable, it's marketable, because then it seems more authentic, it's true to her brand. So it's the persons watching her probably are following her because they have the same interest as her. So I feel like that helps a lot when you're definitely clear on what you are, who you are, what you stand for, what your brand stands for. I think that they're very much intertwined.
Yeah. But then, because you have a very unique situation to other entrepreneurs. You have a full-time job, right? You have and she's very full-time in her job. Like, she doesn't do her job part-time, and she doesn't do Gabby Glam part-time. I feel like she sleeps for 3 hours. Like, no joke, because I just don't know how you do everything you do. Like, I do a lot as well, but compared to her, like, she takes the cake. Like, all of my friends, I realize we're all very driven. We all do a lot, but you do the most. Like, how do you manage that? Like, balancing your 9 to 5 plus doing all of these things. Like, how do you manage?
Honestly, I really don't know. Like, when I think about it, I'm just like, I know, Gabby. Like, even today, I was taking my longtime friend out for breakfast, and she was just like, "What, you have planned for the rest of the day?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't. I say it's a light day. I just have like a bridal trial. I have a podcast. I have another shoot, and then I have another job after that." So it's pretty smooth. Nothing much. She's just like, "What?" I just like, girl, this is nothing but that. I think.
And you work almost every weekend. Yeah. If we want to see her, we have to book her like a week and no joke.
I mean, I try. I really do. Make time for my friends. But if it's like an out of town something, then you have to tell me like in advance. But yeah. But I feel like what helps a lot is planning and having help, because you can't do it alone. Planning and having help has saved me a lot, and not taking things one step at a time, but not looking at the full thing, because the moment you look at the full thing, you just start to get flustered,
overwhelmed.
Like, because like taking on 5 new territories, still working, launching my new lip line, Like all of that just sound like a lot. However, when I just take it one step at a time, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna focus on today? You know, writing that up down. So I have like a to-do list and I write down, okay, what I want to focus on today, and I just check that off just to make sure everything is covered. But then once you're very organized and you have persons helping you, it really helps a lot, because you can't do it alone. I mean, it takes a village. So having persons, allowing them, everybody to be clear on their rules and what is expected, then it really helps a lot. I can't be everywhere. I can't do everything on my own, even in terms of jobs. Like, I have a team. So therefore, it's easy. And even when it comes on to a brand, because I've grown my brand, like even when I said, hey, I won't be doing it, but someone from my team will, they trust, there's like a trust that has been developed because of my brand. They're like, well, her work is consistent. She's not going to send me anybody that's not good. So then they're like, okay, I trust you. And then that is basically how I'm able to grow as well, to be able to do my 9 to 5, but still be able to take bookings, because then people have now developed a trust within the brand. So then if I said, okay, it's somebody from my team that will be coming, they're like, all right, cool, no problem.
So it's also knowing when to relinquish also control of certain things. And I think that's where a lot of us go wrong. Because, for example, if your platform grows to a certain point, like me, if my podcast grows to a certain point, I'm gonna have to get somebody else to edit.
To get somebody.
I'm gonna have to. It's not gonna be the same where I can just have a setup with a camera. I'm gonna need a producer. So it's almost like. And then I think with you, what I think is unique is that you prepare for that. So you don't just say you want to grow, but you consider all the factors with the growth. And I think that's one thing I've always taken from you, because Gabby's one of those people who always tell me, like, if I said to her, Gabs, I need to save some money, she's like, no, you need to make more money. That's literally always her answer. She's like, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to do this and I need to save. And she's like, no, you don't need to save more money. You need to figure out a way to make more money. So it's like, and it's almost like, you think how it's, and you're like, girl, I'm telling you this, but it's true. Like, I feel like with you, it's more like always thinking of how to make something more productive and something to grow, than just kind of saying, oh, I want to do this, and trying to rely on yourself. I think you can't
rely on yourself. Like, it's, obviously, I get that, because people are just like, boy, it's really hard to rely on people. But honestly, and people always say, like, them can't stand people, them hate people. But for me love people. That is the biggest and best resource, because you can't do it on your own. In a world like today, you need connections. So you don't burn the bridges. Like, you probably can't stand the person, but you try and make sure you have a good relationship. Like, be cordial at least. But don't burn any bridges, and just to make sure that you can't do it alone. So you really need to know, okay, like, how can this person be of value to me? How can this person help me? And I think that will definitely help a lot. So I don't encourage nobody to burn me. Like, you can probably not like the person, but just make sure, say, you and them cool. Saying if anything happen, you can say, you don't really want to call them, but so if you call them, then
there's no beef. There is
no beef, because everything cool. Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you'd want to add before we wrap up?
Follow me, Gabby Glam Co-Carnival Glam Hub, new collection called Salem, the Nude Collection. It's a 2-in-1, very different. You can wear it matte, you can wear it glossy. It's available in Fontana, Mera, Local, Amazon, on GabbyGlamCosmetics.com. So and Face Forward.
And I personally am very proud of you, and you inspire me every day.
I'm proud of you too, girl.
Thank you. So
I finally get to be a part
right. Finally, I found the perfect.
I usually just watch and but that's all, because I'm just like, boy, we have a group chat, and sometimes there'll be certain things they're talking about. I'm just very silent.
Because Gabby's one of those people who is so focused on what she has going on. I think that's also something to talk about. Like, what you have, you're very focused on your path. So it's almost like you don't really hear the noise, which I think is admirable. So I think that is why you can even focus the way that you do. I think discipline is something to be admired. Like I want to have, because we are up by what, 4 o'clock every morning? 4:30 every morning. No, she could be out 2 o'clock. She's up till she's gonna wake up at 4:30, and because she has the day to go. I don't know how she does it, but
Renee's like one of the few friends that I could probably like call by like probably like 5, 6.
5, yeah. I'm up by 5.
Yeah, she's up like by 5, and I can call her, and I don't have to be like, damn, what time is it? Okay.
Yeah, we're usually early birds because we try to do the gym in the morning.
We're the early birds. Everybody else, you have to wait a little.
You have to wait till after 10. You have to wait till after 10.
All disclaimer in the group chat. So listen to me. Do not call at this time.
But thank you so much for joining the Goodgal Podcast today.
It was fun. I'm happy I came.
Yeah, for sure. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.